Drivers along Granny White Pike here in Nashville fight the battle of the commuter every day. But on this spot and right around here was once fought a terrible battle that helped decide the fate of our city and our state and our nation. It was about 150 years ago that Americans fought Americans right around here in the Battle of Nashville.
It occurred in December of 1864, and it was one of the decisive battles of the entire war. It really put an end to the Confederates' efforts in the Western Theater, and it denied General Lee any hope of relief in Virginia, which meant that the war was virtually over. So it was a very important battle in the Civil War. Unbeknownst to General Hood of the Confederacy, he was badly outnumbered, and he was trying to throw a badly weakened army against an entrenched Union stronghold of Nashville, and to retake it and to go on to relieve General Lee. But as I say, he never had a chance, particularly after the Battle of Franklin the month before, when his army was decimated, and in Nashville it was destroyed by the Unions. And indeed, where we're standing was on the battlefield. The armies of both sides crossed this piece of ground. The Confederates advancing and then being thrown back by the Union Army and being sent in retreat down Granny White Pike and Franklin Road and Hillsborough Pike.
Author James Somerville is one of dozens of folks who worked for years now to make certain the Battle of Nashville is not forgotten and that a monument to it is restored. Restored, yes, because the original monument, which was put up in the 1920s, fell victim to weather and a growing city.
Well, in 1974, a tornado pushed over the obelisk and shattered the Angel. Then in the 1980s, a huge interstate interchange was built around the site, and it left the monument behind a chain-link fence. You couldn't see it, you couldn't get to it, you certainly couldn't appreciate it anymore. And the Tennessee Historical Commission came to the rescue, chose a new site, and we raised the money to get the job done again.
Quite a job, too, resurrecting a fallen angel. A job that Nashville sculptor Coley Coleman has been working on for 5 years or so, with drawings, models, and then the stone.
The stone started out at 30,000 pounds. It was 3 feet thick, 6 feet wide, and 7.5 feet tall. And I had to rent a shop in the town where it was quarried to cut it down small enough to be able to even get it here. So, and from there, there's a lot of ways to take it from there. For me, it's mostly eye. I'm not a great technical carver. I have to look at it and do a few measurements and then just carve it where it looks right to me. And that's what I do every day, is just study the picture, study the model, and pick a spot and work on it for a day.
Day by day, the stone begins to take shape under Coleman's skilled hands. Hard work, but a labor of love.
You know, the greatest pieces you ever see, you know, your Michelangelos, they're all huge, you know, and you just don't get the opportunity to carve something big, you know, and stone lends itself to large pieces. When you're doing tabletop and smaller pieces, it's fun and you can do a lot with it, but you can get more power, more emotion, more impact from size.
Then, finally, the angel is finished, ready to be moved to her new permanent home, which author James Somerville says completes the symbolism of the Battle of Nashville Monument.
The symbolism in the statue, the two horses represent north and south being drawn together by a young man. The young man represents the youth of the United States who went to France and Europe in the Great War, World War I, and sacrificed themselves for our country and drew both north and south into common cause once again. The angel is called the Angel of Peace, overlooking this symbol of national unity, giving her blessing to it.
Over the years of work, nothing has been easy about getting this lady back onto her perch. Even the final placement is painstakingly slow. And you might begin to ask, why do it in the first place? Why not just let the monument fade away?
Well, I think it's very important for young people, especially, all ages, but especially young people who need to understand how they became citizens of the United States and not citizens of a Southern Republic. It happened here, that decisive battle did, right where they're living and standing, right where their patio decks are built. I want them to understand how their world they live in came to be, and you understand that by knowing a little bit about history. So I hope they look at the statue and they tug on their mom's sleeve and say, "Mom, what's that? And why is it important?" And Mom may have to go look it up in her history book, but still that story will be carried on. That's what Mrs. Caldwell wanted to do, to preserve the memory of the Battle of Nashville, the memory of the Civil War. That's what we want to do.
Tennessee Civil War 150 is made possible in part by Tennessee Department of Education, Tennessee Civil War Sesquicentennial Commission, and Tennessee Civil War National Heritage Area.